Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to another video. Today we are going to be doing some mods on the Jeep. So unfortunately we haven't gotten any parts for the C8 to come in, unfortunately. We've been waiting on exhaust and other goodies, but today is about the Wrangler and we're going to be installing this Garmin. Doesn't look like much right now, but this is the Garmin Wilderness Expedition rack, I believe. And hopefully it isn't too hard. These are the instructions. There's a lot to read through, and the idea is to put these overland rack on so that we can do a little overlanding. So this is going to go the way it works is it mounts right here on the side to the bumper. It's going to go over full basket, and then it attaches over here. So I think we're gonna have to move these slides, maybe relocate them. We'll see, because I think there's actually a mount for them on there, but I'm not sure that that bracket will work. So we'll have to see if our pod lights can stay on. But yeah, it should be pretty sweet. So let's get right to it. So guys, as always, before you start, make sure you have all the boxes. This kit comes in 3 boxes, that large box over there, which I've torn apart, and then these 2 longer, which have some of the rails on there. The instructions are going to be in one of these hardware boxes. As you can see, they do label everything. All these come in like bags that tell you exactly what when to use these, which is really nice. You can kind of see each one of these kits tells you what it's for. It's labeled very nicely and separated for you already. You got some thread lock on there that you're going to be using, but just make sure you have all the parts that you need before you start doing all the work and prepping. Now these are the rear support brackets, and you can kind of see the first thing you're going to do is remove that rear bumper. I think I'm going to start with that, and then you can kind of see in the instructions what you need to do where this goes. They're not the clearest, so hopefully as we go through the video it'll make some sense. The only instructions I could find online were for JKs, so we'll try to see how this works. But these big brackets are going to go underneath there. These are going to be the main supports for the back of the bracket, and then you have something similar for the front that tie it all together. So let me get under the Jeep, take a look, see what we have to remove, and go from there. Guys, you're going to start by removing this bumper cover, and you start by removing these 2 8mm sockets. Screws right back here. There's 2 of them. That'll give you access to a little panel in there. Should come off, but you got to do it on both sides, and then we'll get to the rest of the screws. 16mm. I think there's 4 on each side, and that should be able to pull this out. Be ready to get a bunch of mud in your face. As you can see, no matter how hard you clean these things, there's actually 3 of these 8mm socket bolts in there. So take all 3 of these, this little cover will come off, and that'll give us access to the bolts we need to remove. So hopefully you can see 1, 2, and 3. All right, hopefully you guys can see in here. So now we're gonna loosen these. There we go. Oh no, my battery's dead. Yep, I gotta get a new battery, but you can see what I'm talking about. So there'll be 2 of those there, and there's actually 2 more. I think you might have to take these off too. I have to double check. Maybe if I just take those off, it comes out. All right guys, so we've got part of that. You can take the whole cover if you want. I'm gonna try to do it without removing all that. I think it might work. So identifying which one is left or driver side and passenger side is a little tough, but I think this is the correct one. This bracket right here is gonna go in the frame, and I'll show you when I get under the Jeep real quick. You're gonna drop that. There's like a sort of like a hole in there, if this is the right one. I hope it is. And then this goes underneath the body. And as you can see, this will come together and sort of clamp the frame or the body of the vehicle, and then you're going to drive, I think it's this lower support kit through the bottom, and then there's of course the nuts that go on the other side as well too. So let me get under, test this out. I think that's going to work. This is probably going to be a multi-part video because this is insane, but if you look, there's a hole on the frame, and you might want to clean that off. I'm going to just clean that mud off. But essentially you want to drop that bracket. It's kind of a weird angle, but it just goes in that hole. Kind of got to finagle it in place and then get it aligned. Now we're going to get the bracket. I think without taking the bumper off I'll be able to fit it, but we'll see. This might be in the way. If I got to take this out of the way or remove it completely, I will. So let me test fit to see if it works with that on there. If it doesn't, then we'll take it off. So there you go, guys. You can kind of see, hopefully, how I just gotta align it. But this bracket, once I can push it, it's hard to do it with the camera, but it aligned just a second ago. So you'll align that, and let me show you up here what that looks like. So again, I've noticed that some folks just cut this off. This is the Sahara bumper, I think, on the Rubicon, which is the metal bumper. Might be easier if I remember correctly, or it just bolts to the Rubicon. So whenever you order your kit too, it's going to ask you, is this a plastic bumper, aftermarket bumper, or the Rubicon metal bumper? So I think that's correct. The other one wouldn't have fit there, and this one does. So one way to tell which one's driver's side is the notch is going to be towards the back. So let me get back under here and show you once again. And again, it's not aligning simply because I'm doing it with one hand, but once I use both hands, push this up, I think we'll be in business. So let me put the bolt through it and screw it in. There you go, guys. So I put that bolt in there. Now I got to get the 2 washers and other hardware that goes on here, but it fits. Bumper bracket should be able to go back in. I probably have to use a little zip tie to hold this guy back because the bracket that it was on is behind that now, so I can't reach that. But let me show you up here once again what this looks like. It's pretty sturdy. Once I add the other 2 bolts, it should balance out, and once I put this back on, it should be pretty good. But if you want to cut that, you can. It's just plastic. There's really nothing there. So I found the inner support kit. These are the washers, nuts, and the what are these, pressure washers or whatever they're called, the self-locking. So you're gonna use 1 on one side, and then you're gonna use 2 on each side. So let me put those go underneath. There you go, guys. I've put it all back together. There is a little bit of a gap on the bumper. If I show you over here, hopefully you can see it. And that is because this bracket now hits a little bit of that. Like I said, you can leave this off. Some people choose to leave it off or put it back on. Sorry, cars driving by. So I put it back on. Doesn't look that bad, even with the 1-inch gap. That way it's all back together the way it was, and I'm just putting the little mud cover back on. All right, guys, we've got both of these support brackets in the rear installed. Just repeat what you saw on this side for both. Next step is to get your, what they call the top angle brackets, and these are gonna go, whoops, I think these go like this, because what these do, they allow that rack to actually tip backwards. So if you still want to get your hard top off or your soft top, this will let you do it. Looking at the instructions, which make no sense whatsoever. Garvin really needs to work on these bad boys. But yeah, so you got these L brackets. So there you go. Let's put these on. There should be a bag that tells you what these are. This groove has some room to adjust here, so I believe just in case things don't fit so squarely, as you can see, you have a little bit of room to adjust. So don't tighten everything up, put everything together, but wait till the very end to tighten it, of course, so that all the alignments and everything work correctly. All right, so I believe these are the right ones. It says page 5, and we are on page 5, top angle mounting bracket hardware. And so you're gonna put one at the bottom. So let's put one through the top. Sorry, trying to hold this. There we go. That should hold it in place, and then we're gonna put 1 washer at the bottom, and then this lock nut over here. So just to kind of show you what that looks like right there. So I'm gonna do both sides and then continue on, guys. So we've got the support bracket for the rear. This is the first one, and I've installed these little they're sort of like bumpers. They give the rack a little more stabilization. It keeps it from swinging too much. Let me show you what that looks like. So walk over here to the Jeep. Just want to show you guys, this goes here, and then you can see where the bump stop at the top kind of supports it. So you guys can kind of see, and all the way down. And by the way, you're gonna mount the bump stops on this little lower one. This is for the ladder, so don't use that one. It's this one right here and the top one. So you're gonna put one on each side, and this will give it some stability on top of the bolts down here. So let me do the other one, and let me show you real quick what that looks like when you put these together. So you're gonna take one of your bolts. One of these is gonna be shorter than the other one. So you take this. You can kind of see the diagram right here. That's my, and you've got one, as you can see, for support if you look at the diagram. And then we add a compression washer or whatever they're called. I always forget the name of these. Right down here. Then you're gonna thread this guy So I won't bore you with that. Got that. Then we're gonna add little rubber. These are rubber. They're like a little rubber gasket. And you're gonna add another nut here, or whatever this is. Sorry, it's hard to do this with one hand, as you can see. This is just rubber, so you don't want to make that super tight. And then we add another one of these. Then it goes on the bracket, and then you literally put another washer and another nut on there. But before you do that, take your 13 socket and tighten this bottom one so that it's on there nice and secure. And with the wrench, hold here and then take your socket at the bottom. So essentially you do this right there and tighten that up. All right guys, sorry for the noise, but as you can see, we got both of the brackets on for the rear. And just to give you an idea how that's aligned, got a bump stop up top. There's a second one that goes here, but I don't know if I'll need it because it doesn't seem to reach. So I may have to adjust the top a little bit, but you can see. So let's go ahead and get the rear basket up. I think it's next, or maybe we move to the front. Let me look at the instructions. All right, so now we got to remove these front panels. These are T40s, I think. Should be pretty soft. I've taken them off before. All right, guys, for this next section, you're gonna need the two front support brackets. There's little brackets that are gonna go inside the fender. These right here. There's two of them, and then there's brackets that go on the top that'll be outside. So these are outside and these go on the inside. Let me show you where. Make sure I grab the right one here. You also need this kit right here, front support, which is pages 7, 8, and 9. And again, sorry for the noise. It's Saturday, it's yard work day. So this one goes in here. I have to look again, gotta move the wiring. So there's the correct way, guys. So if you're looking at the windshield side, I had it backwards. It goes like this, and you got to take this little bolt out. And they have paint on them, so they're kind of hard to get the socket on there. There we go. This one won't reach anymore, so you got to use the provided one that they give you. But you can see now, this fits nice and flush, and what that'll do is it'll give it extra support. But you can't reuse that one. All right, there you go, guys. So you use a long one of these. There's actually a little second bag that says top support bracket. Make sure these holes are aligned there so that when you put the cover back on, and I had to use a little plastic extender, a top washer, and then a lock washer on top. So just make sure you got those in. Press hard on here when you tighten it so it doesn't come out, and then you should be good to go. This is the bracket for the inside. You'll see it labeled inside support bracket. So make sure you use the correct one. All right, guys, so you'll take this inside support bracket kit and put a washer on top, put a locking washer right above it, and then the 10mm bolt that goes through. They give you extra washers in case this hole is not centered. You want this to be centered, the threaded hole. They give you another one if you need to raise it, but I didn't have to use it, so it looks like it fits fine. That's it. Now let's put the cover back on. All right, guys, so this part's pretty interesting. They give you one of these, like double threaded bolt or something, and you put it in the threaded side. Then you use this little wing nut just to kind of help you hold it in place. Your alignment, you're gonna have to play with that, of course. Make sure that the door can still open, but also needs to make sure it's aligned here, so as you can see. So then we'll get the rest of the hardware, the top bracket, get that all bolted up, and then you remove this and put the actual bolt through there. All right, guys, I got that top bracket on, and I was able to keep my lights where they were, which is nice. I was worried the lights weren't going to work because of that bracket. So remember, you put in this double threaded bolt in here. Make sure you get a washer and these nylon spacers on there. You're going to want to do that for both sides, and then you're going to put this on and clamp it in place to hold it, and use that locking nut just like a temporary one. But make sure you do both sides, and then you'll put the actual bolt that goes in here. All right, and that's what that looks like. It's nice and firm. Lights are on, which is good. We'll have to adjust this. I think once the top piece is connected, this will be nice. So you have to adjust this a little bit. But all right, guys, we've got the front support and the rear support. Now it's just a matter of assembling the rack itself. Definitely gonna need a hand with this because it's pretty heavy. But as you can see, it comes in multiple pieces. These are the crossbars right here, and this is the center support piece. These are all separate pieces, so All right, we've got the outside of the frame connected. Now you have to do this part, which is a bolt through the bottom. So you gotta lift, and if you want to put these end caps so water doesn't get in there, this would be a good time to do it. Got a little rubber mallet for these because they're kind of hard to tap in. I'll put this washer on. This is like a nylon nut, so it's got pressure already. There we go. Now I just gotta go do the other side. Guys, this next part should be pretty straightforward. You're gonna take all your crossbars, and they've got pre-drill holes with nutserts in them. Hopefully you can see that. So I stood my rack up, put some weight at the bottom so it doesn't tip, and I'm gonna start just putting the screws. It's just a simple screw, as you see here, a washer, and then a little bit of Loctite, which they provide. So I'm gonna start putting the rails, and I'll show you in a second what that looks like. All right, change of plan. So I put it back down, and I've got two mounted on, and I sort of got it spaced out how I want them to go on there. It's really up to you. There's no markings. They actually sell extra ones if you want to add more than that, if you want it to be a tighter basket, but I think that's pretty good spaced out right there. So I just got to get the rest of the bolts in and we're good to go. There you go. So all these slats or rails are connected. They're not perfect. You can play with the alignment. I'm gonna have the rooftop tent on top of this for the most part, so you're not gonna see a whole lot up there, but it's on there pretty secure. Well guys, there it is. I had to get some help to put it on there, but once you put it together, it's pretty easy. One thing I do want to point out, I have put this slat right where the brackets go, so I'll try to highlight that in the video to not put that rail there, because that's where you want to put these hardware pieces. Clamps go at the top, washer, and then a nut at the bottom. Then you want to make sure these are nice and tight here, because this is what gives it stability. If that's not against the hardtop itself, you're going to get a lot of sway there. I'll show you the finished product. Again, you got two brackets here, so make sure you align that slat away from this. Keeps it from swaying and moving. If you don't put these bump stops, you're going to get a lot of movement in there. So there it is. Let me step back so you can see it. Now, it's a ton of pollen on here, so it's totally filthy, but it looks awesome. You can still take the freedom panels off, and if you want to do the hardtop, you can, but you have to undo the bolts in the front, undo the bottom one here, and then this whole thing will tilt back. Can be done. So that is it. That is going to be all for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Tune in for the next one. Comment, follow, let me know what you guys think. See ya. Bye.